Hello and welcome. Welcome to Input English. This episode is entitled The 300-Hour Rule. The 300-hour rule. What is that 300-hour rule? Well, first of all, it's not a rule. There is no 300-hour rule. Well, what is it? It's an observation. The reason I call it the 300-hour rule is that it is very, very consistent. So I'll give you an analogy. We are out in a city park, and all around me there is grass. And I look at this grass and I say that it is very short. It's been mowed. It looks good. It's not all grown up. It's not overgrown. It's cut short. Okay. Now, if I look back at that grass 1 hour later, I won't notice any different. It won't look any different at all. I won't notice the difference. 1 hour is not enough time. But if I come back in 2 weeks and no one has done any mowing, I will notice a big difference. Now the difference here in a park is they have a paid staff that are coming around with machines mowing the grass, and so you can't just assume that the growth will go without the staff responding and mowing it down. In 2 weeks, this grass will look like this, but that's because of the intervention of the staff. But if there was no one mowing this grass, in 2 weeks, it would be quite a bit more. And so you could say, well, for grass, maybe we should think in terms of a 2-week rule. You look at it 2 weeks later, and you'll notice a difference. If you understand that, you understand my 300-hour rule. What I'm trying to state with this 300-hour rule, which is not a rule, is that you should be patient and you should not expect big changes with small increments of input. So wherever you are, if you add 1 hour of input, you're not going to notice anything. If you add 100 hours of input, you may not notice much. But based on my experience and the experience of others, wherever you are in your language learning journey, if you add 300 hours to that point, you will notice a big difference. So the 300-hour rule is a simple phrase. Simply stated, I'm trying to get you to just realize that it takes time. This is a slow process, and if you add 300 hours to wherever you are, you will notice a big difference. So as I look back to my journey, for instance, in Spanish, I started from almost zero. And as I began my studies, the first 100 hours were difficult because the content was mostly words I didn't know. But after 300 hours, it magically became a lot easier. So now, in our discussion, consider that I'm at 300 hours and things are a little easier. I still don't know how to speak Spanish, but what I did was do it again. So that brings up a phrase that you will hear in English when a process repeats and you're talking to someone, it's a casual reference. They'll say rinse and repeat. So rinse and repeat is one of the many metaphors in English, because nothing is being rinsed. There is no water. But if I say, well, I started from 0 and I added 300 hours and things got a lot better and I could understand a lot better, and then, rinse and repeat, I added another 300 hours and then another 300 hours and so on. And my experience, and again, the experience of others, is every time you add 300 hours to your input, you will notice a difference. So that's really it for the 300-hour rule. It's not a rule. It's a concept that helps people understand that this is a gradual process. It takes time. And the reason I bring it up is I don't want people to become impatient. I don't want someone to listen to 50 hours and wonder why they can't tell the difference. Have I hit a plateau? Is this it? I'm just not smart enough to learn? No, it takes time. And the 300-hour rule is there as a method for people to understand that it does take time. Be patient with yourself and just keep watching videos and listening to content, and you will notice a difference. That's it for today. I invite comments below. Check out our other videos. We have a lot of content. A lot of this content gives you advice on how to learn language by comprehensible input. So I invite you to come back and visit and take advantage of this resource that we're creating for you. See you next time.